for him.
Oh,
So, always have to
Doug, you
accept
put him
it.
in Tim's?
Oh yeah, he's half
Let me
Asian.
get a signature.
Yeah.
Who hasn't? Is it Sarah? You know her, yeah. All right, so I'm just going to do a quick safety meeting, guys, Monday morning, March 2nd already. So basically, the thing that I want to talk about is just basically wearing your safety shoes, safety equipment when you're out there. Some of the guys I see wearing tennis shoes, we need to be wearing safety boots. There's so many things. If they have steel toes in them, then I'm okay with them. I don't care if there's a lot of shoes that have steel toes, that's fine. But just don't wear regular tennis shoes or something like that that's going to get crushed. Especially those of you who lift and carry that heavy equipment, because a corner of that falls on your toe, you can have a crushed appendage. So we don't want that to happen. Same thing. So different types of job hazards, obviously. With not only heavy materials that can be cut with a saw, shear, or cutting torch that can fall and strike in a foot, handling heavy tools or building materials that are easily dropped or knocked over by an employee, such as when working around blocks, bricks, other components, or building materials that can fall and strike the foot, rolling objects and equipment such as heavy pipes, steel billets, wheeled carts, and other round objects that can roll onto your foot. I mean, we do have those carts, and now Sarah has that new cart, but just because you have a cart that lifts equipment from a truck or down or whatever, using a hydraulic, it doesn't mean that thing can't shift and fall off. But even the asphalt in the back, a little rock hits a wheel and just kind of the balance of it. So it's important to have a second person or a third person if need be, and be real careful. Get it down to the ground low before you start doing that as well. Toxic chemicals that could also saturate your footwear can be absorbed through your skin. And then working around energized electrical lines and equipment, exposing workers to a current that can travel through footwear that doesn't have a conductive sole. So those are the kind of things you want to make sure that you're protecting yourself. So obviously there's a lot of different hazards that could hurt your feet. So make sure you're wearing the proper footwear, safety devices appropriate for the type of work that you're doing, including safety toe shoes, boots, attachable toe caps if necessary, metatarsal guards that are built into the shoe or are attachable, shoes or boots with leather sides and uppers and or steel shanks to prevent piercing of sharp objects, chemical resistant boots and shoes with non-conductive soles. So only use protective footwear, protective devices provided or specifically approved by, OSHA is really what we're looking at here, is what their requirements are. And we want to make sure that you don't overlook any potential hazards that could cause those types of injuries. So that's kind of what our safety meeting was about this morning. And then I wanted to kind of also mention, uniforms. So remember, I'm going to say it again. When you guys come in the morning, tucked in, make sure you have belts. If you guys don't have a belt, buy a darn belt. I mean, they're $10. I'm not asking you to buy something fancy. It doesn't have to be leather. It could be pleather. I don't care. Just make it look professional. It's kind of like, I'm gonna do this in a different way. I'm gonna say it in a different way. It's like, when you're going out on a date, so I'm gonna say as a girl or a guy, you're going out on a date as a guy and you shave half your face and let the other half just scruffy. That's what not wearing a belt is. I mean, you're not wearing, it doesn't look right. It's just, having something tucked in and then taking your belt off, it just doesn't look right. I've done this before. I did this once in another company that I worked for, because I had a lot of employees that were, they didn't think a belt was important or whatever, right? Or tucking their shirts in. So I went out and I said, okay, how do you guys think? If I walked up to a customer and just kind of like, maybe rolled up my sleeves, how do I look? The difference between this and what I looked when I was tucked in is night and day. I'm wearing a nice shirt, I'm clean and all that. And then I just go like this, okay.
So what the hell?
If I walked up to a customer's house, it's not the same. That there's a huge difference in what you can do by just tucking in your pants or your shirt and your pants and putting a belt on, combing your hair, the minor little things. And sometimes it's even, having to do with your shoes and doing something with your shoes. Sometimes it's shining them, cleaning them, getting the mud off of them, whatever. It doesn't take much, but there's a huge difference in just those couple little things. It makes a big difference to the customer. And it's like when you wear tattoos, or when you have tattoos and you cover them up, that kind of impression is different than when you just like, you know, I saw some guy come to apply the other day. Of course, I wouldn't even, as soon as he walked in the door, I just went, nope. And I spent, 10 minutes with him, talking to him. He had a tattoo on his neck of a star. From here,
That's Orange County, baby. You know
Yeah,
you like
that's
it.
the whole star,
That's awesome.
long hair,
OC.
hat on backwards.
OC thugging it.
You know? So, I'm just, why would I hire someone like that? Because he's representing our company. He's going to go to our customers. That's going to scare the hell out of a lot of our customers.
Turtlenecks are coming back. That might be
Yeah,
actually-
turtleneck.
Yeah.
It would have to come up to here. I mean, it was literally going to underneath his chin.
He screwed up.
And here, and he was a young guy. I mean,
Screwed up, man.
he's been in the HVAC industry for 5 or 6 years, working for his
Screwed up big time.
uncle and his father. Lead installer, all this other good stuff. His resume looked great.
He's probably good. Who knows?
Could be a great
Screwed up
guy.
with that.
Could be a perfect installer until you walk in the door. I can't send that to my customers, right? So, I'm trying to say that those little things make a big difference. And obviously some of those big things make a huge difference too. But, you guys have got to understand that when we're going out there to a customer's house, we want to inspect what we expect here in the shop. So that's why I'm having you come in that way. Coming in all unbuttoned and untucked and everything, that just gives us the impression, and I'm not saying that you are doing that, but it's giving us the impression that, you're going to go out that way. And, Jesse said something the other day. He goes, dude, I don't want to have to be tucked in my whole way to work. This is how I get up in the morning, I dress this way, I drive an hour each way. Easy. I go home, I'm still tucked in. You get used to it. It's not, it's not some big, horrible thing that you got to do to tuck your shirt in and wear a belt and all that stuff. If you do that in the morning and you're wearing it, you driving to work, you get used to it. And then you get used to driving around. And when I get out of my car, I always kind of just check my tuck a little bit. I'm just making sure I don't look like a slob. And I know that's part of my military training, because that's how we had to do it in the military.
You probably wear a belt and all of that even when you're not wearing.
No, when I'm at home, I mean, I don't think, you
When
guys
you go
haven't seen
out.
me. I wear shorts and a t-shirt, and I could care
What
less.
about when you go out?
If I go out, I don't wear a belt always. It depends where I'm going.
I'm weird. I wear a belt. I'm so
Wear
damn
what?
used to
Shorts,
it. I
yeah.
wear a freaking belt always.
I have to
I-
wear a
in the
belt.
military, I did.
My shirts will fall down.
I feel like I don't
Yeah.
look good
Yeah.
without a belt.
If I have my shirt tucked in, yeah, I wear a belt, always. But if I'm going somewhere that's casual and I don't need to tuck my shirt in, different, right? I mean, so it just depends on the situation. But if I'm gonna be in front of a customer,
Belt.
I'm gonna be tucked in and have a belt, for sure. Because I just think it's way more professional. I saw this company, and it's funny. I was looking at a commercial just the other day, and it was a company. It's something new, and I think it's called. They're wearing collared shirts, not button down shirts, but polos. But they are delivering it's a newer delivery called Shipt, I think, SHIPT. Okay. And they're delivering products for a company. I don't remember what the company was, but I saw that commercial, and the first thing I thought of is, man, everyone was tucked in. They were showing these girls and guys delivering like a bag of whatever from the store, from a whatever. And then, but it said on the back of their shirt, shipped, and the front of their shirt, shipped, right? They were nice shirts, they're tucked in, they all had belts. I mean, their shoes looked good. They just looked professional. And they didn't have to have a button-down shirt even, but they just were tucked in, had a belt, and looked, they were groomed. And it's like, okay, I mean, I could see someone like that coming to my door and delivering something, and I'd be okay with it. I see some of these guys come to my son's doors delivering food, and I'm just like, holy crap. They come in some beat-up car, and they just look like, I don't even know how to explain it. They just look like scary people. I'm like, dude, they may be really nice people, but they just look kind of sketchy, So it's kind of like, this is a big difference from how you dress. So I just want to keep throwing that out there to you guys. We got to get better and better at it. We got to make sure we're tucking in. The uniforms become a problem, like I said, tomorrow. They're here again. I've asked for extra shirts just in case something happens. Make sure you turn your shirts into the uniform company and your pants. If you have stuff that's all jacked up, let's get rid of them. Don't just keep wearing them. We got to get our uniforms back up to snuff because it's been kind of sad.
So you want them all turned in next week?
anything that's bad should be turned in on a regular basis. I mean, every week they come on Tuesday. So if you don't turn them in before Tuesday, so Monday morning you normally come in, put your uniforms for that week, you should have some, a couple left, and then you're gonna have, Tuesday, you should have the rest of them from the previous week. So if you just keep rotating them in each week, the ones that you wore from the previous week, there's enough that they're giving you like 11 uniforms. So unless if you worked a Saturday last week, that's 6, and then you still got 5 for this week, it should work out. Unless you're working 6 days every week, then we can always get another set for you. But there's not that many people here that do that regularly, okay? So the ones that are washing their uniforms at home and, they're not ironing them, they're not whatever, their ironing job here isn't real good either. I mean, I'll be honest with you. But when I was in the military, I would take my stuff to dry cleaners, which was fine. And sometimes they did a great job, sometimes they didn't. I'd have to re-iron my stuff all the time. I iron my clothes currently every week. I do it myself. I don't send it out. I just do it myself. I don't just take it out of the dryer and, throw it in a bundle and put it on the next day. So, I know it's a little bit extra work to do, but, I care about how I look when I come in to work. So hopefully you guys will, too, those of you who haven't done the greatest job with that. I wanted to just briefly kind of mention a couple of things that happened last week, and that last week William did a couple of jobs that he basically set up for us with the process. Some people weren't home. One was a warranty job, but the first one that was a homeowner that I was able to get out to, we sold 14 grand, full system. It's a 90% heater. We got the 16 SEER, AC unit, the whole deal, full system, change out. And it's just a small 3-ton, but 14 grand. So it doesn't take that much to do it. He did a great job with everything. The one thing you guys have got to remember, and I didn't say anything to William the other day, but I'm just pointing it out to him. Once you set everything up and you get going and the channel comes out or the comfort advisor comes out, let us do our thing. Don't start trying to add to it, because sometimes that can be, it depends on the customer, sometimes that can be a bad thing when because they almost feel like you're ganging up on them. And you didn't do a lot negative there at all. It's just the fact, it wasn't really negative, it's just, you're bringing up energy efficiency, maybe trying to help me, but let me do my thing, and you just do button everything back up and do all that stuff, check your stuff, do all the things you're supposed to do, clean up. That way, when you have 2 people in front of the customer, sometimes they kind of get pressured sometimes. They feel pressured.
I actually thought about that.
You got to be careful with that.
And without sugarcoating it, a lot of supervisors or people that are closing, whatever you want to call them, they'll just say, don't say anything.
Yeah.
Basically, shut up.
Once I get there, just let me do my thing. I'll come ask you questions if I have them.
Don't say anything.
Let me do that. Or if I bring you into the conversation just to verify or validate something, that's different.
Yeah.
But just don't come in and stand there and hover with the customer,
Right.
because that's the only thing that can, and this lady was fine with it. She was totally fine.
Some customers will really not like it.
They will really not like it. So this customer was fine, and I didn't say anything because they ended up being okay, and but he just basically kind of hovered for a minute and said a couple of things while I was kind of closing. But you got to realize that some customers will really take offense to that. I'll say at least half. So it's just it's not even risk.
When
It's
you
not
say
even
something that you're not even prepared to even discuss or
right.
You're not even going that way.
Yeah.
We're saying.
Well,
here.
and I planned on talking about it, but I was basically saying what I was going to give a pricing on, and I had to do this a little different because I didn't know what all my pricing was going to be yet, because I've never priced one of these really out other than calling. I can call them up and say, okay, I need this kind of system. How much? Okay, cool. But we're doing a whole system, so I needed to get stickers, and then I sent it to them to make sure I had the right stuff. Because they can look at the sticker and tell everything. I don't know all the darn numbers and what does what on what, right? But I just sent them all the stickers that he gave me. So the way that I want, if I'm helping you guys out on the HVAC side in particular, all I want you to do is send me all the stickers for the equipment that we're talking about, so that I can say, okay, here's the condensing unit, here's the furnace, here's the compressor coil, whatever, and it has the specifications on it, because I just send that over to Gary, and I say, here's what they have. They can tell me the year, they can tell me everything about it. The one that first one we did, he goes, oh, yeah, this one's under warranty, so they bought the extended warranty, because he could tell by the model and serial number. So, we didn't put it in, but at least now, we are gonna put the replacement warranty coil in, evaporative coil, and, we're gonna get labor for it, so, better than nothing, $1,000, right? So, but if you guys just give me that stuff and say, okay, this is what I need, and then the next step in the process that I did is I said, okay, after I sold the system, I said, go ahead and everything else you need, put on this, because they'll basically send me a proposal with the 3 items that I'm asking for. Because they gave it to me first on the 80% furnace and the 14 SEER, and I said, no, I want the 16 SEER and the 90% furnace. They said, oh, okay. So now I had 2 proposals. And I said, so then because my deal was, in my mind, I saw the difference in price, our cost, which was maybe like $600 for the whole thing. Wasn't a lot of money. So I said, shoot, I'm going for the big guns here. So I went straight for that and talked to the customer.
Is their furnace 90%?
No.
Okay.
Theirs was 80.
Okay.
But so he was comparing apples to apples on the first one.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to go up and say, because when I was talking to her, I'd already mentioned, hey, Amana has this. If we go to the higher efficiency models that are not only better, even save you more electricity, so on and so on, it's also, I said, they're a little more expensive. That's what I told her, a little more expensive, but much better warranty, and they have basically lifetime, so you'll never have to worry about it again. So I already could figure that I could tell that I sold that to her. So a little extra money when I told her 14 grand. The other one would have been like 12 something, 12.5 with our, us doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't even balk at it. So I was like, okay, well, when they gave that to me, then I just sent that over to him, that proposal for the stuff that we actually were going to sell. Add everything else onto this proposal that you need, so that way we have one invoice, everything's on it, and then tomorrow, because the thing's being delivered being installed on Wednesday or Thursday, but like tomorrow, once he has all that done on the proposal, we can just go pick all that stuff up and they can have it here.
Yeah.
And then you guys just take it with you in the morning.
Well, tomorrow is
ordering all
tomorrow's
that?
the warranty job.
Tomorrow's the warranty
Yeah.
job. Well, I meant Wednesday, yeah. So tomorrow I can pick it up,
Tomorrow
and then
Thursday.
maybe we can squeeze it in on Wednesday. I think we have it scheduled for Thursday.
Are you ordering all that
Who's
stuff?
ordering all
or
of it?
Yeah, William
or
is.
having-
William's gonna put it all in the proposal, and then we'll pick it up.
So
So
I
whatever-
don't have any of the proposals from you for the job for tomorrow, unless you want me to.
There is no the job for tomorrow. All I got was the evaporative coil.
Okay,
It's here.
okay.
So if there's something else you need, just order it, get it done today, and then you're good to go.
Put on the same job.
You're ordering.
It's already that was no.
going
That's gonna be put on the same job. Yeah,
Thursday,
Who are you going with for the install?
the full installs with you.
Is with me?
that's on Thursday. Yeah.
Okay,
You're-
run it by me when you're doing the proposal so that I can make additions for things. Because right now, if they have an 80% furnace, we're gonna have to change their B vent because
Okay,
90% uses PVC.
okay.
So we're gonna have to make some alterations to their house as well.
It's like a tankless. That sounds like a tankless.
So we're gonna, it's basically
That's
going
basically what we
from
would be running.
from tank to tankless but putting in the same spot.
Gotcha.
So
you
there's
didn't
additional
get
stuff
asked
we're
any
gonna need.
technical questions
so
where
run
you
that
felt
by
like
me.
you didn't know.
Gotcha. And then the
It was
job.
pretty much sold, right? It's-
No, I just basically said, I explained that here's what I said. When the first thing was going on, I validated that it was leaking. It was absolutely leaking, right?
With that little
But you
sniffer
don't
thing.
The
know
little
much
sniffer.
about HVAC.
Yeah, but it's all about simplicity.
I know what the difference-
That's dope.
I'm barely learning.
That's
I'm,
pretty dope.
He's simple, you know what I
That
mean?
makes me feel like I wanna go out there and try to sell some HVAC.
it's so
very,
easy.
Very
It's so
simple
easy.
breakdown. If you see it
I was
move in
like
the chamber,
surprised.
it's automatically leaking.
Because these guys are here, and I just said, okay. I asked him ahead of time before I even go out there. He says, okay, this
So
is
was it
what's
hard?
going on.
Oh, so the skills
This is
that
what's
we have
going
for
on.
that.
Plumbing's gotta be harder to sell.
Yeah, I
It's
think.
gotta be harder.
I mean,
to
you're
sell.
talking about
Only
me
when
because here's
you're
what I did. I
doing
said,
It's
Only when you're
insane.
doing flushes, only when you're doing
Yeah.
flushes.
yeah. So
Well,
I said,
drains
hey,
are
I said the
easy to sell,
evaporative
but
coil is
other
leaking.
shit
There's
is
nothing I
hard.
can do
Shit
for
is
you
hard
on
to
that.
sell.
That's got to be replaced. That's
Right.
all I said.
Who's
Just like the guy said.
You can't fix them.
I said you can't fix that evaporative coil.
You
It's
can't fix the
leaking.
coil.
I said it's 16 years old.
Nah, it's-
All it's hard to sell.
I said the furnace is working okay.
Drains are
But again,
easy
it's
to
16
sell.
years old, and it's not a really efficient system. I don't know how often you use it, so I'm trying to get questions from her. I'm like, so how often do you use it? She goes, well, I use my air conditioner a lot more.
It's really hard.
And I said, well, he checked your compressor outside, and it's going between yellow and red. So it's on its way out. And I said, and the last thing I want to do is put this new evaporative coil in for you, and then your compressor go out in the middle of a, 3-digit hot day. I said, I'm sure you don't want to, I said, then we're going to be busy and it's going to be hard for us to come out and we're going to have to switch that out. You're going to have a couple of days at least with, no air conditioning. So I'd rather do both units at least. That's my recommendation. I said, but if it were me, since I got to take the evaporative coil off anyway, I might as well change that 16-year-old furnace out. And then you won't have anything, and they'll all have brand new warranties, lifetime on both, on the Amana, the top of the line stuff. And I said, you'll never have to worry about it again. And she just like, okay, well, how much is that going to be? And I said, well, let me get the pricing together for you, but I'll take care of you. So when I gave her the pricing, I basically gave her our regular price, which was like $15,500. Of course, took $1,500 off. Now it's $14,000, and we're still totally great on that.
Fucking shitty to me.
Yeah.
Did you tell her, because I remember Alex said something about don't tell her the price, say, it's gonna be $120 a month?
I did.
Did you
I
say
did.
14,000?
I said, I told her, I said, basically, I already figured out when I got in the office what the number was.
Yeah,
So before I said, I did give her the price first, so I didn't do exactly like he said. I said, because I offered her before I even left her house, I said, and we can do a monthly payment for you, make it really affordable. I had told her that.
Okay.
So when I got here, I said, and I'm talking to her on the phone, and I got the pricing, I said, we have some financing options, it'll totally make this affordable for you, once I told her the price. So I said $15,500, I said I gave you a senior discount, I know your husband was in the military, because there's a big Marine Corps thing on there. He was no longer, William said that he had already passed, he found that out while he was there. So he did a good job building a relationship, he knew a lot of stuff about what was going on. So I said to her, I gave you basically 10% off, just because, senior and your husband's in the military, kind of the whole thing, I just did all that for you. And I said, and plus we're gonna do, there's a condensate line that was leaking, we're not gonna charge you labor for that, we're just gonna include it since we're already doing all this work for you. So I kind of building the value, adding things in there basically, and not charging for it, right? That's the kind of thing we do. And then I said, but even though it's $14,000, I said I can make this really affordable for you. And I said I have a financing, couple different options I can offer. And she goes, no, I don't want to finance anything.
There's a lot of people.
As soon as she said that,
Most of
I
them
said,
don't.
okay, that's fine. So I said,
A lot of people
then I
out
asked the
there.
question. All I did is this. I
Oh,
said,
you know if
so
somebody's a
when do you want us to
financer.
get started?
How much? I don't know.
That was it. When do you want us to get started?
Yeah.
And she goes, well, Tuesday's not good for me because I'm going to be, I go, okay, well, we can do it Wednesday or Thursday. She goes, Thursday's great.
Yeah.
That was it. It was that easy.
and I think the day to do, how long does it take to do the whole system?
A full day, 2 guys.
You all right?
About.
Sounds like a line.
I haven't
With
been to the
ducks or
house,
what?
so I imagine it should be a day. It might be
ducks or
a
what?
day. No, I don't think it's with
No
ducks.
ducks?
No
Or
ducks.
are you guys replacing ducks?
No,
Okay. Yeah.
no, we're just doing the furnace, the
It
evaporative
depends.
coil, and
It
then
depends on the B vent. If because we're changing out B vent, I don't know where the furnace is in the house. Is it in the garage?
Nope, it's in a hallway and a closet.
Okay, then it might be a second day because we might have to run the PVC up through the B vent all the way through there, basically into their
Well,
through the top.
I gave 10 hours to
because
guys.
we might not have another way to go. It's like putting a tankless in the middle of a house.
That's what I'm
Okay,
thinking.
so,
I'm already just
yeah.
thinking.
But it's a
Put in
single-story
tankless,
house,
how
though,
you
right?
gonna run the vent?
then, but we'd have to add a new vent. That's all it would
Yeah.
be. Which I've done
Just
before.
add a new vent.
But it's like, okay, I don't know how their attic is situated. Generally,
didn't
you want
even
it
go
out
up
the
into the
side
attic,
instead of
but
out the top.
I
But whatever.
gave 10 hours to guys, so.
It
even-
should be fine.
Is it single story or?
Single story.
Oh,
She's
should
yeah,
be
then
fine.
you're
She's got one intertwining back down into the closet. You'll see it.
For what?
Her ventilation. She's got another one intertwining running back down into the closet.
Is there a
Which
B vent?
it's not a B vent. It's
Okay.
yeah.
What's it for?
I have no idea, but it looks like it's been canceled, and that one we maybe be able to connect it into the existing plan. You'll see it.
B vent. The metal B vent
Yeah.
that comes out. They have
Yeah.
another one of those that's sticking out.
Yeah, well, she's got one intertwining with
Then one for a water
division.
heater.
No.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll figure it out when we get there.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you guys will be able to do it, I'm sure. But I gave a couple extra hours, like 2 extra hours for 2 guys, just in case. Trying to build a little bit more time in there, because
Mhm.
I didn't know.
And then
Yeah.
who's running tomorrow's job with me?
I had you on yourself, I didn't know you needed anybody, if you can get a helper. I mean, I didn't have anybody in particular on there for you. So, all right.
It's a big evaporative coil.
Well, the problem is
with the
where that one's up
small
in the attic. I mean,
Yeah.
that one's up in the attic, so unfortunately. But I got $1,000 for it, plus, you know, we get a little bit of money from Amana. We get a couple $100 from them, so it should be okay.
The attics are pretty simple.
Yeah, but this one is a really small hole and
Okay.
Yeah,
it's in a
small.
closet that's
It's one
kind
of
of difficult.
those.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
She's got a 5-ton system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Inside like a 900, maybe
It's
1,000 square
zoned.
foot home.
Yeah, it's like-
zoned.
It's all zoned. It's just a small little house. It's
Right.
a huge
5-ton
system.
zone
Five
system?
5-ton system for this small little.
And a small condo or maybe an apartment.
Yeah.
around it.
So that means whoever sold it to them.
Oversold it. Yeah.
Worthless.
Well,